What's up? Welcome back, guys, to another video. This time, while I'm waiting on this stuff to sell, I think I'm going to go ahead and record my stuff on like the weapons or the tributes. So I'm going to show you guys kind of what I found out. Just share with you a little info FYI. So I'm pretty sure Pen A is better than Damage S, like when it comes to the higher tier armors. So Damage S, you're going to get a little bit more damage out of it on lower tier armors, but when you get up to like T4, T5, you're going to see a damage reduction over Pen A. So, and since most people run T4, T5, I'm going to go ahead and say that Pen A is going to be better than Damage S for general purposes. Also, for general purposes, I have experimented and let me see if I can find one. When you see the Pen A Damage A weapons, which I have some somewhere, probably on one of these. No, I can't seem to find one at the moment. I have them. They might be in my mail. But basically, if you see... God, I know I have one. I was just looking at it, like for real. Alright, anyways. So if you have a Pen A and a Damage A, it's about the equivalent of an S version of that weapon. The difference being, an S Pen weapon on a T5 will do one more damage than an A Pen and an S, or an A Pen and an A damage. So it'll do one more damage. An S Pen will do one more damage to T5. On T4, it makes zero difference. I think actually on a T4 you will get one more damage than the S Pen. So on T4 it will do one more damage. With an S Pen on T5 it would do one more damage. So if you see those, they are still worth it. They're like, well, it's not S Pen. Yeah, but it's A and A damage, just about the same. Unless you really need that extra one damage, which it does matter in some cases, like a pulse sniper or whatever. It could be the difference between one tapping somebody or not. I'm gonna go ahead and say that, like, I think as far as modded weapons go, the best bang for your buck, you're looking at probably the A and the S Pen AKs with headshot damage, because these weapons, if kitted properly, will one tap T5 and two tap literally everywhere else. Maybe not legs, but it depends on if you go with arm damage or if you can get a joint percentage that can, bridge the gap. But I mean, the joint weapons are, or the joint scopes are expensive, like unreasonably expensive to get a decent percentage. So there you go, because I think you need the 15% torso to get the 50 damage on the torso. So you need 15%, but I don't know if 16 will cut it. And look at the prices I'm looking at. Oof. It's rough. You don't really need the ×4 though. You could go with the ×8. You could go with the ×4. But once again, you need that 15%. There we go. A mil. You're looking at a mil. Oof. Oy, 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 oy. That is a lot. I kind of want one, but I don't know if it's worth it. For a mil? Maybe. Maybe you can justify it. It's almost 25%. So close. I'm tempted. Should I do it, guys? Blow a mil? A mil. I hate my life. I don't want to. I really don't. Alright. Yeah. Guys. Decisions. I did it. Pulled the trigger. Alright, whatever. It's only a mil. I'll get it back. I still got 3.7. I'm good. We're running budget ass kits anyway. Let me see if alright. Real quick, let me post this. Okay, I got some room now. we're going to go ahead and get this out of my inventory real quick, and then I'm going to continue with my explanation of weapon damage modifiers. Alright, some weapons I'm finding don't really matter if it has damage stats or not, like Scourges. Scourges, the difference between an S-Pen and a not S-Pen, like a base weapon, isn't really that much damage. It's not enough damage to make a difference in shot count. So when you hear people reference like 1-tap, 2-tap, talking about how many shots it takes on target to down that target as far as their HP goes is 100%. Certain weapons, it does nothing. So like Scourges does nothing. You're going to 2-tap regardless. It may only make a difference for headshots. And so far, I found that like Scourges with basic mods will 1-tap T5, normal T5 heads. Now, I haven't done any testing against heavy armor, so all this information is relevant to base T5, T4 and T5. Heavy, I don't know. Have not tested it yet. MK14s, like I have this badass MK14. The shot count literally is the same. I mean, it may make a difference against heavy. Have not tested it. But as far as base T5 goes, 2-tap. It's a 2-tap weapon. Regardless of whether it's like this A-pen or this SSA. It's 2-tap. 1-tap head, 2-tap everywhere else. Does not matter. Even this. This will 2-tap literally everywhere, and it will 1-tap heads. And the melee support, there's a lot of people out there like saying this doesn't do anything. It does do stuff. Like, it's actually pretty good. I've tested it in the shooting range, and it does make a huge difference. That recoil, because this thing has massive vertical recoil, which makes it kind of unwieldy in melee. But with the melee support, it makes a huge difference, I'm telling you. And the range, you still have decent range on the weapon, even with the range reduction. Because, like, if you get that on it, you're good. And then the vibration dampening absolutely makes a difference on this weapon. So if you go beyond a certain range with this weapon, in order to get that 1-tap headshot still on base T5, which I have a 15% here, and then I got double pen, I needed the vibration dampening because I tested it. Like, this is a really expensive muzzle brake. I wanted to just buy this because this is like 800K. The difference between 800K, this is like 1.5, 2 mil with the vibration. So I didn't want to spend it, but I tested it, and it absolutely makes a difference. You need the vibration dampening because the weapon drop-off will make you do like 98 damage or 99 to T5 heads at a range, and you want that 100%, and in order to get it, you need the vibration. So that's a must on the MKs. The UMPs, I haven't done a lot of testing with these, but from what I've done, like, I feel like the pen itself also doesn't make a huge difference in shot count. Poles, people still don't know how to build their poles. I still see headshot damage on poles, which is funny because it's unnecessary. Like, I'm not sure as far as heavies go. Like, if you have a really badass helmet, if you could still 1-tap if you had a little extra head damage. But, like, I want to tap them in the body. Like, because headshots are few and far between when people are moving around, when you're moving, when they're moving. They're hard to get. So I want to make sure that if I can get a hit anywhere, they drop. And usually it's upper body because people are hiding behind cover, and you're only going to get like head, arm, shoulder, maybe chest. So I want them to drop when I shoot them in the arms of the chest. Head is almost a guaranteed, especially with these kind of damage mods on it. Like, you're pretty much looking at, if it's red, it's dead. M4s, I don't notice a difference between the pen and the not pen. Like, as far as shot count goes, it's about the same. Like, if you have decent mods on your M4, you can get it to, like, I think if you run sniper, you can get it to 2-tap, but otherwise I think it's a 3-tap at best. Unless you have, like, crazy mods. Unless you have, like, I don't know about this one. Like, cluster in close range, it's still probably a 2-tap at best. But that's the best you can do with like an M4. This is an S damage, 8 pen. 3-tap is more common for M4s. 2-tap you can do with AKs, but also 3-tap is pretty common. As far as other weapon mods go, like MP5s, not a huge difference. It takes 4 or 5 rounds. If you really like stack it up, you can maybe get a 3-tap. Like this thing, maybe 3 taps on T5, but it's mostly 4 to 6 rounds is average. Depends on how heavily you're modded. So it doesn't make a huge difference. Shotguns, though, like, I'm gonna say they don't make a huge difference either. Like maybe this shotgun could probably one-tap. This will definitely one-tap T5s. Heavies, I'm not sure. It might make a difference in heavies. It might not. So shotguns, heavily modding them. I mean, it's unnecessary for normal matches. If you want to have an arena one, like I have arena guns. These are all arena guns. These are just to bring into arena and to play with, to have fun. A lot of them are going to get sold, like the ones that don't have stars. I'm selling. I got to get rid of these. I just have too many. And I have a lot of money tied up in the attachments and stuff, and I need to free up that money. So I found that I'm not going to run my arena guns in regular matches while the cheating is so prevalent. I'm just not. I'm not going to do it. It's a waste of money to run like a gun that's worth 10 mil so that some cheater can be like, he, aim lock, you're dead. Give it to me. Thanks, nerd. I'm not doing it. Deluges. I mean, these things are already face eaters with like basic mods. You put mods like this on it and oh my science. The havoc you could reap in close range with these. Those are sweet. But as far as the mods go, I don't think it makes a big difference in shot count, to be honest. It just looks nice. And a lot of it is just like looks. Like people just have like pissing contests like, ooh, I got the S mod in chat. And it's kind of fun to like flex a little bit, but at the same time, at a lot of weapons, it makes very little difference as far as how many shots it takes. PKMs, I'm going to say also, again, like the S-Pen doesn't seem to make a huge difference in shot count. Like, at best, you're hoping with an S-Pen, like, to reduce the shot count by 1, but I'm not sure if it does it. These guys, I'm not sure if these make a huge difference either with the damage on them, based on my testing, that it makes a difference in how many shots it takes. Maybe like this guy. It definitely reduces it by like 1, maybe 2 if you're lucky. But as far as versus a base model, I think it's about the same shot count. Doesn't matter that much. I've noticed the AR-17, like, I thought like all this extra damage and stuff, like if you have it like this guy, I was like, surely that's got to be better than like a base M4, right? Not by much. It's maybe 1 extra round, like, and it's, you got to get like the best of the best to make an AR-17 as good as like a base M4. So they're not super worth it. I mean, it sounded nice in theory, but when I actually started damage testing, like, I was disappointed by the results, to say the least, versus a base M4. I was like, base M4 all the way. So you're still better off running a base M4 than probably even the most heavily kitted AR-17. Just because, like, the cost per benefit analysis. Like, yeah, is the AR-17 going to be a little bit better? Sure. But it's also a lot more expensive than a base M4 with basic mods. So, depends on if you want to lose it or not. If you can afford it. Here it is. Here's a damage pen. This is basically an S pen. Those two together, pretty much an S. Stomps. So the stomps. I had no luck getting the stomps to one-tap T5, I don't think. Like, I have an excellent stomp. We can go in and test it real quick. Here it is. S pen with a 4% body. This is about as good as it gets. And I'll go into the shooting range and I'll show you. I don't think it one taps T5 chests or arms, but I might be wrong. I might have got it too. Even with that much extra armor pen. It still will one tap heads, and it'll one tap T4s. Like, you can do T4s, head and arms, but I don't think chest. Nope. Heads. So you have heads, and you have all T4 head, arms, chest. And that's like with the best stomp that you can find, with a really expensive scope on it. Your base tier poles do better. Like, I can build this pole. It'll be cheaper and it'll do just as well. And I won't have to risk my SS. Like, against heavy armor, this may make the difference. Between a 2-tap and a 3-tap, but I don't know. I really don't know. But I just know that it won't 2-tap, it won't 1-tap T5 chest and arms. But I can get a pole to do that relatively cheap. So, in comparison to like trying to find this ultra rare like S with a 4%, that's 9% extra pen. And it still won't. It's disappointing. That's with gold ammo. So it was disappointing at the very least, but you know, I still hold on to it just for flexing's sake. But like these base model poles, these are cheap as shit, and they'll one tap T4s all day long and one tap T5 heads, and they're super cheap. Most expensive part is the scope. And a scope's not even that expensive compared to trying to find like that stomp. Like, I paid good money for that stomp. I think I paid like a black and 2 orange for that stomp. So in comparison, and it's super rare, in comparison, your base pole with a 60k scope on it, I mean, times 4, 60k for times 2, probably 150 for times 4. You're looking at 250 to maybe 3 for 300k for a times 8, if you can find them in a 13%. And bare basic mods for the rest of it will one tap T4s and one tap T5 heads. So, and it's suppressed. You can suppress it, unlike the stomp. So, pull the superior sniper rifle for sure. Stomps are good for cheap. They're cheap. You could throw a sniper mod on them. They will 2-tap just about anything, except for maybe heavies or damage conversions. So that's why people run stomps. They're not great snipers. Persuaders, same thing. I could not get the Swader to do any more. It will 2-tap at best. You can get it to 1-tap heads, and it'll 2-tap everywhere else. I mean, they're about on par with the Scourge. Like, I kind of prefer the recoil of the Swader versus the Scourge better. It feels better to me. I don't know why, but that's just how I feel about it. I like the Swader a little bit better than the Scourge, which is why I've ditched most of my Scourges. But Scourge, damage for the price ratio is better. It does more damage. So, and that's about all the guns in the game. I think I've gone over them. Shaft, I mean, even with the best shafts, like, it does make a difference by like 1 shot, but you're still looking at like 3 to 4 shots for most T5s. And I think still by far the best weapon in the game is the old pump shotgun. As far as cost to benefit analysis, like with purple ammo, we'll 2-tap T5s in 2 shots. With gold ammo and an S pen, I don't know, but probably 1-tap, I would say, if you get a good spread. And most shotguns, if you get a headshot, it will kill them in 1 shot. Like, it even says on like the tip thing, it's like shotguns will 1-tap heads, basically. I'm not sure if that's true for heavies and stuff, but That's what the tip says, and that has been my experience. If you get a headshot with a shotgun, I've only seen it not kill somebody one time, and I think I got a bad spread on it. So shotgun's all about the spread. If you can reduce that spread to like a small group and hit your shot, they get fricked up pretty quick. So we're gonna put this guy up for sale. I'm gonna go cheap. I just want it gone. Okay. That gets rid of that. That gets rid of that. That gets rid of that. Alright guys, Hesta, like I haven't noticed a difference either. RPM really kind of makes a difference on these things. If you get just a little bit of a little bit of damage pen, the increased projectile speed, I don't know if it makes a big difference or not versus rifling. It's way more expensive than rifling, but like in theory, if you're having a close range firefight, like your bullets will hit the other person faster than theirs will hit you, and you will therefore win the firefight in close range. In theory. In practice, I don't know. Probably depends on your aim. Who just hits their shots better. And then, you know, S and damage, I don't know if it makes a huge difference. As far as shot count goes, maybe by one. But once again, you're looking at still like 5 or 6 shots. But with a rapid fire weapon, it's not really an issue. So as long as your aim is good, I don't think this makes a huge difference either. So, and these, actually the S Pen sabers, with these specific mods on them, you can get them to one-tap T4s in chest and arms. And it will still one-tap T5 heads. Like this guy, S and damage, this absolutely one-taps T4s. Everywhere but legs. And in legs it's close. It's like 48 damage per shot. So if you could maybe swap the arm out for a joint, you could probably get it to do 2-tap legs as well. But I think the base S damage, as long as you have at least 13%, will do the same. So I've tested it, and it will get you just on the threshold, unless they have some sort of mod that prevents you from like damage conversion or mount helmet or something like that that reduces damage. You'd probably still be a 2-tap. But I think that covers pretty much all the weapons. DMR just, this weapon, it feels like it's shooting BBs, no matter how modded I get it. I mean, I guess this one's probably 2-tap most stuff. But like, this guy, I'm telling you, even with headshots, even if you get a headshot, I'm still looking at 3 to 4 shots. Like with this piece. Of course, I'm not running armor pen on it, so I was running burst and bullet. But I just wanted to test it out. A little rapid fire, stop him from healing. I figured it's cheap, it's budget. If I can get headshots, maybe 2, 3 tap. But that's about the size of it, guys. As far as weapon mods go, like 1911, I'm not sure it makes a difference. 2 or 3 tap. It might by 1 shot. Like I said, most of these stats just reduces the shot count by 1 at best. At best. So, and for a lot of them, it doesn't matter at all. But that's it for the damage weapon attributes video. I mean, if you have any questions, whatever, put them in the comments and I'll try to answer them. If not in a video, just I'll reply to your comment. So, until then, until next time, I'll see you later.